Hey folks, yeah. So tonight, it is still Thursday, the 11th. I decided to go live, see if anybody was around. I really wasn't expecting much to happen. And then this guy called BSBT, broken whatever the hell his name is, came in chat, and MSG Retired was in chat, and BSBT was talking a bunch of shit about him. And eventually MSG came up on the panel to tell his side, and then BSBT came up, and things got a little crazy, and Chris came up and tried to be a voice of reason. But anyway, I know people have been talking about it. I decided to go ahead and do a little edit to shorten it a bit so people can watch it, and that's what this is right now. Hey, Steve, I even gave Uncle Wyatt a chance, but then he still came in and was a jerk. Hey, how's it going?
What's going on there, Muck?
I have no idea.
I don't either. I may have made a comment. I believe my comment was on dick bags, actually, and it was about obstruction. And when you divert attention away from an officer who's on a call and interject yourself without any relevance to what that call is, you're basically obstructing by dividing that officer's attention from the task at hand. And that could be articulable facts that can be put in a report. Now, Chili beat his rap, but which I find amazing. But then again, that was some of the judges nowadays. That doesn't surprise me. But yeah.
Well, I don't remember if I saw the whole Chili video. I just remember seeing part of it at the time when he was arrested. It seemed like he was pretty far away from the scene. But I don't know if was he over there like talking to them and stuff?
Yeah, but it's mainly his demeanor and whatever. But he's interjecting himself way more than just videotaping, which I know I've never had any of that kind of shit happen to me, but I know in Worcester it's happened several times. And as a matter of fact, they even have some training videos on it. And they ended up getting arrested for obstruction, and it stuck.
I know. I always said I'm a big supporter of the auditors, which I had no say in choosing that name for them. But anyway, but the ones who do it right. I don't like people who instigate because that's not a true audit. You know, if you go to wherever, either cop watching or you go into a office building, you know, a public office, and you're just filming, that's auditing. If you go in and you cause trouble to get a reaction, that's not. Hello, BSBT.
Give me just a minute.
Yeah, we're listening.
I'm just restreaming. Hold on.
Yeah, that was the only comment I could think that you would have had a problem with.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to come at you sideways, MSG, or anything like that. So I hope you know I'm not. I'm just trying to correct the record because, you know, I mean, well, first off, let
me just say this before you go any further. I was posting as MSG Retired, not as a police officer.
Okay.
And I'm not representing myself as a police officer.
But you are all the time. But you are all the time. Like right now, like your command post right now, if you say something out of order or out of pocket right now, oh, trust me, you'll have to answer for your claims.
Why? Right? I'm like retired.
No,
I'm retired last fucking October.
From being a cop?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you have a First Amendment right. But what you're saying, But here's the thing.
65.
But why were you trying to play like you didn't know what I was talking about? Like, why did you try to play it off? Like, why?
Up on panel. You said up on panel. Chat's not panel. if you had said comments I had made.
Yeah, I got it wrong. Right? Like I got it wrong. Got it. I got it wrong.
Well, that's why I was like, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. I haven't been on anybody else's panel.
Right. So, but can you cite the law that you're referring to when you say that somebody can't interfere verbally? They can intentionally. If you go to, I'll just say it like plain in English. If you go to your law,
so
it will tell you.
It's not a law. It's not a law.
Houston versus Hill will tell you can intentionally distract a cop.
Yes.
The Supreme Court, the supreme law of the land, upheld this decision if you want to go to Houston versus Hill. But I'm going to ask you, please cite the law that it says you cannot distract verbally a police officer. Please cite the law. Like, tell me the law.
It's obstruction.
Okay, please quote the law. You made the claim that it's obstruction.
I got to look it up because I don't. It's been a bit, and to be truthful, I've never had the situation. However,
now we're getting somewhere. So you don't even know obstruction. Listen,
I do know obstruction.
Well, then quote it.
I want to quote it for my jurisdiction. It's chapter 268, section 34. Whoever. Oh, wait a minute, wrong one. Sorry.
It's okay. Listen, I can give you Taylor's almost verbatim.
Yeah, do you really think every cop should be able to quote exactly every law?
So, chapter 268,
but it's not about
34.
that.
Whoever disguises himself with intent to obstruct the due execution of the law, or to intimidate, hinder, or interrupt an officer or other person in the lawful performance of his duty.
So nowhere in there did it say it had to be.
That's chapter 268, section 34.
Okay, there was a lot in there, so forgive me, and I'm not writing it down. I wish I had written it down. Maybe somebody could type it out in chat, or we could pull it up. I don't know. But did it say it was physical or verbal in that? I'm guessing you're reading a code or a statute.
Yeah, I am. It's the intent of the law. Or to
maybe you can
intimidate,
cite the statute
hinder, or interrupt an officer or other person in the lawful performance of his duty.
The lawful performance of his duty. Okay.
Right. So if I'm on a traffic stop and I'm dealing with this traffic stop and you come over and interrupt me, that is obstructing.
Okay. Maybe according to that code or whatever,
like I can
see
Massachusetts state law.
Right. So okay. If it's Massachusetts state law,
you just told me to quote the law, and that's the law that in the jurisdiction that I have to work with.
Good. That's excellent. We're getting somewhere because I'm not really trying to have like a gotcha moment with you. I'm just asking because there may be. Well, listen, I'm dead serious because there's undercover cops that watch. There's police that watch me of all people. They watch me. It's crazy, but there's cops that will watch me. And they'll want to know like the actual law. Like they kind of have the cops that watch me usually are the ones that are like, hey, I don't really have this law thing all figured out. And I think I'm being set up kind of to maybe, commit crimes instead of prevent them. Holy shit. Like I'm kind of waking up to the idea that I don't know things about law that I should. But anyways, I'm glad that you quoted that. Like I said, I don't have anything to write it down, but did you hear what was said yesterday in the Chile de Castro thing? Did you hear any of that? Like how obstruction is a physical act. It cannot be,
I didn't go back and look at the Nevada, or I didn't go back and look at the Nevada obstruction law.
Then don't comment.
Okay. Nevada, right, and it was in a different district too. So I'm not trying to argue with you that Massachusetts would apply to, but I mean it's already been. What I'm trying to say is all of the persuasive case law from top to bottom, universal law, God's law, common law, statutory law, all of them say the same thing: that obstruction has to be a physical act. Like there's no getting around.
No,
that
it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
It does.
We can agree to disagree.
You're going to get a lot of cops sued by telling them that. You're going to
Nope.
get them sued, and then maybe even worse, because ignorance of the law is no excuse. And there is Section 241, Section 242,
I just
deprivation
quoted
of
the
rights under
fucking
color
law
of
to
law.
you
And
fucking muff.
You quoted your understanding of it.
the day that it
Your
comes to book the
twisted,
blue may be coming
pathetic
sooner
brain.
rather than later, MSG.
I
And you're
just
going
don't
to get
know
a lot
what
of
part of
cops
hinder
sued
or
or
interrupt
booked
an
with
officer
felonies.
you guys don't understand.
It's not hindering an officer.
It's interrupting him.
No, it's not. If you can't
Yes,
focus
it
on
is,
your
you
job,
moron. You're not even
if
from
you
the U.S.
can't
Fuck
focus on
off.
your job, you shouldn't be doing the job.
Why do I try? Why do I even try? Why do I even
It's,
try? Why get up here and even try?
I don't know. It is our legal right to help a person in distress, even if they are being harassed by the so-called pig with a badge. Because
Sir,
that's
you
all
are a
you are.
fucking retard.
Okay,
Mate,
let
my
me jump in
family
here.
wrote this law. Your law in America is
Sir
taken
Richard,
from
we
my
kicked your
family
ass
law.
out of the U.S. years ago, so
Okay,
go away.
MSG. Okay, listen. Okay, MSG, listen. Have you ever been to law school? Just a
Have
question.
you? Have you?
It's not about me. It's not about me. Have you ever been to law school?
You don't
Have
have
you?
to have gone to law school to understand this.
I
No, broken
understand this. It's a
systems.
very direct question. Have
Let
you
me-
ever been to law school, MSG? Yes or no? It's a yes.
Do
It's a
you
simple.
understand what hinder or interrupt means?
Before we get there, have you
Do
ever
you
been to
understand
law
what
school,
hinder or
MSG?
interrupt
MSG,
means?
have you ever been to law school? I'm just asking a very simple question. I don't know
No.
why.
Have you?
Okay, thank you. No, I haven't. I make it very clear
have
that
to
I've
have
never been to
broken
law
system,
school.
broken
As a
trust,
matter of fact,
understand
that's kind of what gives what I do power, is the fact that I didn't have to go to law school to learn what I know about law. I didn't have to go to law school.
What's the deal? I just now walked in here. What's going on?
MSG is giving bad legal advice in
I
live
didn't
chat,
give any
and he doesn't
legal
No, hold
advice.
understand.
on,
you
hold
In
on.
his
dink.
position as a professional on YouTube, he could have direct influence over others that may make decisions based off his advice and could
Hey,
get
I'm
them
having it
sued
out
or
with
in trouble.
BSBT
But
right
Guys,
hey,
now.
I
wait
don't know
just a
anything.
second. Everybody wait for 1 second. Let me tell her what this is
Yeah,
about. She just
over on
walked in.
Finkel's
Tiffany
channel.
is attending law school now.
Well, I'm only going for my bachelor's, but
in
I
very, very early stages. However, the topic is this.
Yeah.
BSBT is a little, he's on and he's off about interference with police officer. Now, what he's not understanding is the term physical, that it must be physical. And let me throw one
Or fighting words. Okay, or fighting words. But then you could also.
Let me throw one thing to you real quick. I'm going to give you an example, okay? And I want you to work this out with us. Let's say that a lawful traffic stop is being conducted, okay? And the officer did catch the person speeding with the gun. It's all on record, okay? He walks up to the car and he says, "I need your driver's license." And the person rolls the window up and locks the door and refuses to interact with the officer. Now, is that interference? Yes or no?
I don't know what that has to do with the fact that MSG said in a live chat that if you distract an officer like with words, that's a crime.
Well, because I'm trying to help you define obstruction without a physical
Because
act
it is a
being
crime
done.
in the state of Massachusetts, 268-34.
and every
Federally,
state does have
federally, it doesn't coincide.
It doesn't matter. I'm not enforcing federal law, you retard.
absolutely
I go by Massachusetts state law.
what a lot of people are missing.
It's painful. It's really painful. You guys are
Federal
making this
law
as
is
painful as it can be on that.
no.
Are you? You're doing this on purpose. You guys,
Federal
you
law
hate
and
me, don't
state
you?
law is separate.
No, not
What's
at
it?
all.
Wait. Everybody
Not me.
stop a second. Everybody please stop a second. What the fuck are you talking about? How paranoid are you? You think everybody came in here to gang up on you? You
Not at all.
started this conversation.
No, I don't. No, I don't. But I'm just saying that the advice is so painfully bad, and then I'm
It's
trying
Except
to
he
help him
read
correct
you
it.
the law. He read you the
You're
law
the
that
one
he
that
goes
gets people
by.
locked up by going out and doing this stupid shit.
What, recording
Well,
cops? Oh, yeah. Are you saying that I have to go to jail over and over and over again to prove to
No,
you that,
recording
like,
Well,
cops is
obviously you don't.
legal.
It doesn't
Recording
click
cops
with
is
you.
legal.
right? I have to keep going to
You can
jail over
record
and
me.
over and over for you.
People record me when I was working, people recorded me every day. I have no problem with that. It's
And
when
you
they
recorded them
interject
back.
themselves into that interaction when there is no need for them to interject themselves. It's obstructing because they are interfering with that stop.
Right. If they interject, right?
It's all
Now,
about the
I will give
You
you
guys
this.
can record me
MSG,
all day long. And you know what? If you come up and say, "Officer, I've got a question," you know what my response would be? Can you give me 2 minutes until I finish with this interaction? And then I will be more than happy to answer your question.
Right.
Okay, let me ask you a question then,
But when
MSG. Do you
people like
consider, do
Chili
you
come
think,
up and say, "All right, little doggy, go fuck yourself and do your thing."
yeah, right.
Well,
So
right there,
MSG,
guess what? Guess what?
do you consider Chili's arrest an unlawful arrest?
yes.
No, I don't think it was unlawful.
So
I think,
MSG said no. Who else?
Well,
Let him
Muckster, yes or no?
finish.
however, I can't make a 100% determination because I don't know what the Nevada state law is in
Yeah,
regards to
because he can't stand up like a man, MSG, and say, "Listen, I saw it. I saw it. He was a little rude to the cop, but the cop
Oh,
said
I've
there
had
should be
people worse
nobody
than that to
suffering in
me.
jail over nonviolent victimless crimes. Like, be a man and just stand up and
Non-violent
say that."
victimless crimes. So
hold
basically,
on.
you're saying we should get
He's
rid of
still a
all the
cop.
traffic laws, let people just do whatever the fuck they want.
I didn't
No,
say
problem.
do
MSG.
whatever they want. When did
No.
I say do whatever they want? No,
That
Yeah,
is
y'all.
legally what
You're
you're
just
supposed to
saying
do.
victimless crimes. That's what all traffic
no.
stuff is, right?
Hey, how
If you're
about we
not causing
de-escalate?
loss, injury, or harm, you should be free to do whatever the hell you
You
want to
are
do.
a
If
moron
we
and live in a
truly have
fantasy
freedom,
world.
listen. If we
All right,
truly
guys,
have
I gotta
freedom,
go.
you.
Goodbye,
Let's just de-escalate this just a hair so that. Oh.
coward.
Anyway, the
I'm
courts
fine.
the courts made
You
that
know,
decision.
wait a
It's
second, wait a second. Everybody say goodbye to Richard.
Bye, Richard.
See you, Richard.
He's been nothing but a pain in the ass since he came up here. And that man wore a uniform, not a police uniform, an army uniform for over 30 fucking years. You're not going to come in here and call him a coward.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
And
mean,
you're
there's
not
really
going
no
to
reason.
say, be a man either, be a SBT. The fuck
No,
is
I'm
wrong
saying
with you? You
he
said
was.
be a man to him.
Oh yeah,
That
absolutely.
man,
You're right. You're right.
that man served.
And now he's
Anyway.
acting like a girl online, pretending he doesn't know the conversation that I had with him just yesterday, just because I had it wrong that he was on a panel instead of it was in a live chat.
He
So
doesn't know the
he
conversation
acted
you
like
had, but you had it wrong.
he acted like a girl and acted like he had no clue what I was
Oh,
talking about when
Jesus Christ.
clearly he did. Without
What do you
me
mean acting
having
like
to
a
do
girl,
anything,
bro?
he came up here and spilled the beans on himself. He knew exactly what I was talking about.
Hey,
Did we just not
BSBT.
watch the same thing?
Broken system. Check it out,
We
man.
didn't.
Watch what you're saying is what Muck's trying to say, because I got a girl sitting next to me right now that'll smoke your ass in understanding this law.
She's probably
She's
got
a
more
girl.
balls than MSG.
Right, but why are you saying acting like a girl as if that's a bad thing? You know, this conversation
Okay,
doesn't
fine.
matter.
He's acting all gossip. He's acting all gossipy. Okay.
Well, the problem that I
Does
think
that
Master
help?
Sergeant has with this type of conversation is that he is a trained, long-time police officer, and
Right. You're right. He's trained, longtime police officer. You're right.
And their
You're right.
training, and their
Which
training
makes
is
it even more important that he's correct on the
well,
information that he's giving. Correct.
Or
right. Let
or
me
like he said, he
Right,
didn't
right.
comment because he didn't know.
right, and you got to let him speak. You know, and you're not letting me and Tiffany speak
Yeah.
either. So
Okay,
just
go
calm
ahead.
down.
People get
Just
to
take-
finish a sentence.
Yeah, just take a breath. You know, the whole thing's going to come out here, I promise. But as far as that topic, you know, you're talking to an officer who's gone through training, and I would suggest that Master Sergeant is a good cop. I think he's a good cop, and I think he's trying to do well. However, what their problem might be is his training might not be sufficient to the actual understanding of all of the complicated breakdowns inside of these laws. So yes,
We agree.
we have
We
a valid
agree.
argument here, and I think
We
that,
agree.
but I don't think you're going to get anywhere in getting past that barrier by yelling and screaming and name calling or bringing people down.
That's not how you have.
I didn't try. I didn't think I called him names. I just described his behavior.
Stop
and
being a
then
girl. Be a man. Stand up.
Yeah,
You
I
might not have
described
called
his
him a
behavior.
name, but it's the same fucking thing.
right.
MSG's probably got he's probably got very thick skin. I'm sure my words are not. He's not gonna have trouble sleeping at night.
Well, I don't care because you're in my fucking house, and we in here want people treated with respect.
And at the
I'm
same
the only
time,
one that gets to disrespect people here.
I'll
go ahead, make your
myself
fucking
right
faces.
now. I will disrespect myself right now so fast.
That's okay. How about when nobody gets disrespected? Like, can we let Tiffany say something?
I was just going to say, you can't have a conversation and be able to work out any misunderstandings or miscommunications whenever you are yelling and being aggressive and not letting people finish sentences.
And both of y'all were doing it.
So, I mean, this is a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the conversation I would prefer to have with him, but he just spouted nonsense.
Well, let's go ahead.
You kept contradicting yourself.
How did I contradict myself?
I don't know. Go back and watch the recording. First he was on the panel, then he wasn't on the panel. Then he was totally wrong about the law, and then he read the law to you.
That's not contradicting myself. That's getting it wrong and misremembering the details. But he knew what I was talking about. The overall point is he knew what I was talking about, and it's clear he knew because he came up here without me prompting him. He came up here and he spilled the beans on himself. He said, yes, I said this, remember?
Yeah,
exactly.
But hold on.
He was speaking what he
got an
knew
argument
to be
whenever
the truth.
I came up. I know why. The reason I came up is because you all are arguing about something and both of y'all had an element wrong each. So,
not trying to have an argument. I'm not trying to have an argument with anybody. I'm trying to come to an understanding.
Can we get back to talking about that subject, please? So we're talking about obstruction, hindering an officer. Okay, depending on which state you're in, different name, different state for different law, but it's hindering an officer.
Let him. You're leaving.
Oh
well. No. It's just listen. If we're gonna get into this, like according to the statute, the code, this is what it says per state. It's like it's ridiculous to even. Did you guys
I
not
wasn't going to do that.
yesterday,
I just was saying they call it different things in different states.
At the federal level, like precedent wise, like they cited Supreme Court cases. They cited influential state or case law from district. I think it's in Nevada. They cited a bunch of different cases. A bunch of different federal cases.
Tilly's case, if you're upset about Tilly's case, he won his appeal. That means it has been precedent.
He didn't win.
Yeah,
he still spent 100 days in jail.
Yeah, I know, but you're talking about the law obstruction. He overturned in that case. He did not commit obstruction.
He did not. He hired a lawyer to do it for him because he couldn't get it done himself.
But you're not a court. You're not a judge. I'm not a judge. Master Sergeant's not a judge. Muckster's not a judge. But a judge did decide that case, Chili, in fact, did not commit obstruction. That's all I'm trying to say. Now,
I mean, the words, the words from the judge are kind of, I mean, as much as, things went wrong or, as many stupid things happen, I was very pleased when that judge was kind of like, was reading that. I got a little bit of happiness out of that.
Little hope,
you know what I mean?
Little hope left in some people in the system. That's right, understanding the law. And look, here's why I wanted to interject with your conversation. One thing, an element that you might need to elaborate on learning is the element of the physical nature. Okay, because you're taking it as all the way. Physical must be like a person touching somehow. Now that's not the case, because a person can touch their door handle and hold it. A person can touch their lock mechanism and push it down. And that is considered the physical element that is inside of every one of those state statutes to the obstruction law. So
if you're going to put yourself in the statutory jurisdiction, do you understand that courts operate under dual jurisdiction?
We fully understand jurisdiction, homie.
Dual jurisdiction? Do you understand dual jurisdiction?
We understand jurisdiction. Very much.
You understand that all of the courts operate under dual jurisdiction?
They help him out.
Under what jurisdiction?
All these courts operate under dual jurisdiction. You do understand that, right?
In what way?
Explain dual, please.
Dual jurisdiction? Well, I mean, I'm not the expert on it, but in my experience, from my personal experience, there's the commercial jurisdiction, which is what, landlord-tenant issues come in. That's where you see the all caps thing, right? That gets kind of sob-sit language, if you want to put it, sob-city type talk.
So civil.
But it's true. There's dual jurisdiction. There's a corporate jurisdiction, there's a common law jurisdiction. And most folks don't even know it, but they're in the corporate jurisdiction. They're subject to that corporate jurisdiction because they're on record identifying as a citizen and because they're identifying as a 14th Amendment citizen.
I'm sorry, that's not the word jurisdiction. You're not talking about jurisdiction. If you tried to file anything and you used that terminology when you're explaining your jurisdiction, it'd be thrown out. You'd be gone.
You have federal jurisdiction, you have state jurisdiction, and you have local whenever you're talking about the courts. Now, whenever you get down to the local courts, they're going to be separated into criminal and civil. There's several different types of court proceedings that fall under each.
And they drag the civil jurisdiction over to the criminal jurisdiction to get everybody into slavery and bondage and having
I've never seen that happen. I've never seen that happen. I've never seen that happen.
Give an example. Give an example.
Because anytime a criminal charge comes out of a civil litigated case, it has to be handled within criminal court. It has to have its own case number assigned to it in the criminal court jurisdiction.
And it gets moved in jurisdiction to handle the criminal element. So
sometimes criminal.
Okay, let me give you a quick example. Let me give you just a quick example.
Oh, where'd he go?
Oh, okay, that was he just.
So what I do.
There you are.
But
there. Well, we didn't hear what you said. You bounced out and in there for a second. You said,
"Oh,
let me give you a quick example." We didn't get anything after that.
Yeah, like an example is like, as far as the jurisdiction, like being in the corporate jurisdiction versus the criminal jurisdiction. In my case, down in Taylor, Michigan, who is the victim down there? It's interfering with a cop, right? Who is the victim in that?
Well, my question is, first, I got to ask you this. What do you mean corporate jurisdiction? There's not corporate or private is in all
I have a prosecutor on record stating that she works for a municipal corporation, and that's who she was bringing a charge against me on behalf of.
That's an incorporated city isn't the same as saying a corporation. But I wanted to hear an example of taking something out of civil.
Her words, not mine. She represents a municipal corporation.
Right.
How does that municipal corporation bring a claim against me, a living man? How does that happen?
There are incorporated cities and towns. That's not.
They do it through the corporate jurisdiction. Is what happens. But
I wanted to know about you say they drag things out of civil to put them into criminal to turn people into.
Oh, they want to stay out of the common. Have a man or woman on the other.
Yeah,
sorry. If my connection is bad, but they don't have a man or woman on the other side to bring the claim. So they have to bring the claim on behalf of a fictional entity, right? Again, this might get real like Sob City, but this is law. This is real
Sob Citizen, law. Not Sob City. If you're going to be a Sob Cit, be the right thing.
What I'm trying to say. Like, because folks don't understand that this is real law. It's common law. It's like, it's a real thing. There's folks doing
you know
stuff.
what? I look at sovereign citizens, perspective on law, and I actually find that they got a lot of shit. I mean, it's hard to argue a lot of it. However, in the bigger picture, it's not the way they have the jurisdiction thing all wrong, and that is not the way our system operates. So, even
Are
if
you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive. I'm dealing with it now.
100%. So your understanding could not be like your understanding could not be wrong.
Well, I'll just tell you this: we filed and we've gotten jurisdiction correct. We've had a judge removed over a jurisdictional issue. We understand jurisdiction, and it's not the same way that sovereign citizens would have seen it. They would have thought that every judge could have gotten kicked out of jurisdiction on their part. That's not how it works.
Do you know I've been threatened with? Do you know how many times I've been threatened with contempt for asking to see the factual evidence of jurisdiction?
Well, are you following the court proceedings in through the process properly? Because a lot of people get kicked out of court for contempt because they don't understand that they're asking for something out of turn.
Chris, do you hire attorneys to speak for you if you go to court?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't. I do not. Nope.
Yeah,
Not going to happen.
Yeah, you should.
I think that that's part of the problem.
Until you learn it, until you know it like a lawyer knows it, yeah, you should. Because, I mean,
I can't even get a straight answer out of this lady, this administrator who's claiming to be a judge. I can't even get her to answer a direct question. I said, do I have the right to a fair and meaningful hearing? Do you think that's grounds for contempt?
if you're speaking out of turn and out of process, I can see how.
No, she asked me a question. Nope, she asked me a direct question. She said, is there something you need to tell me? And I said, before I answer that, I have to know, do I have the right to a fair and meaningful hearing?
Okay, so she asked you a question and then you did not answer the question and asked another question. So yeah, I can see the judge getting frustrated with that.
In order to answer her question, I needed to know the answer to my question first.
Well, you might need to present that way to the judge formally in the right procedure, in the right process.
Do you think I'm going to let them go around making claims and shit without me correcting the record? That's not going to happen.
Nobody's asking you to do that. The only thing that we're saying is that you need to follow the court process the way the court process is written in black and white. And that would require you to answer. Yes, you do. That's why you get held in contempt.
I'm not a part of their legal society. I'm not a part of their legal system.
Your ass is in that courtroom, buddy.
You're living in America, and that is the court process that we have. That's what we have. That's what we have to follow. That is the rules here.
Yeah, they're called court rules, and you can read them before you go. So if you're going to represent yourself, I've read
a lot of these court rules. Yeah, I've read a lot of them. Like there's no live streaming in court, and I've live streamed pretty much in almost every.
Not those rules. I'm talking about the rules to procedure of whatever type of case you're there for.
I don't care about that. That's for attorneys to know.
Well, that's what gets you in trouble.
When you're speaking on your own behalf in court, you are representing yourself as a pro se litigant, and you are absolutely required to know the court process and procedure to the best of your ability.
Yes, how are you going to enter your evidence if you don't even know how?
That's not true, Tiffany. Listen, I have nothing against you guys. I'm not trying.
No, we don't either, buddy. We love you.
Yeah,
we're just trying to.
This is not correct information, though. Tiffany, that's incorrect.
Well, how's your court going then?
Well, how is my court going? I've had a judge recuse himself. I've had 3 judges. It's taken about 2 years. They can never produce the goods. Every time I show up for a trial and say, let's do this, I show up for the fight, they back down, right? It's laughable at this point. But yeah, after about 12 times of going, I'm tired of just recognizing their jurisdiction, because you'll have some folks, even the judge, the sitting judge in my case, he will even try to say that, just the fact that you showed up is proof of jurisdiction, which it's not. That's incorrect as well. It's
Lucy
an
wants to know what
maybe.
jurisdiction your warrant was in.
It all starts. The procedure starts with establishing jurisdiction to make sure you're doing the right court.
The question from chat was, which jurisdiction was your warrant in?
That's in the corporate jurisdiction. They're trying to do harm to me, the man, by using my person to do harm to me.
There's not a corporate
jurisdiction. Are you
jurisdiction.
being heard in civil, criminal, district, or federal court? That's the question.
Oh, it's a district court in Taylor. Yeah, you guys should. You can watch it. It's on YouTube.
Okay, we're.
Okay, so
that was the question. So
district court. Okay.
All right, so your district court, and
you guys haven't seen these court dates? What's wrong with you guys?
Is the case criminal?
I haven't had time to see the court dates. I've been going to school and trying to work on our court stuff.
Yeah, we've been in court.
You might want to watch this stuff too.
You think we're all obsessed with you?
If I had time, brother.
I don't think you're all obsessed with me. But what I'm saying is, like, you're talking to me like I don't have real world experience to draw from.
No.
I think we were just asking what jurisdiction you were in.
That's how it felt to me. But we would agree.
I was
Well,
just going
can
to
we
say
go
what
back
that.
to where we agree? Oh, I'm sorry we're talking over each other, but can we go back to where we agree? Because Chris just said that jurisdiction is the first thing that they handle. That's basically the point of an arraignment. We would agree to that. Like that's
No, that's
like,
not the point of the arraignment. It's the very first thing that
yes, it is.
happens with every court. To make sure
Oh,
you're in the
the
right court.
arraignment is to gain jurisdiction. You don't know that?
No, it's to
What?
part of it is
It's to
confirming that
establish
that's happened.
jurisdiction. Yes, that's
Look,
what the
look here.
arraignment is for. It's to rein you in.
All right, here's the no, it's not the rate.
What?
It's to establish that. Okay, no, okay, we're way off here.
Okay, they'll tell you, listen, they'll tell you the point of an arraignment is to inform you of the cause and nature of your charges, right? Which they don't. They don't do that, but they'll tell you that's what they do. And then to ask if you need a lawyer. That's the two purposes they have for an arraignment. But the real reason for the arraignment that they don't tell you is to establish jurisdiction, which is why
well, I
in
had
any
an arraignment today.
Hold on, let me finish.
You ran from a fucking failure to appear warrant. You're
Oh
a
my
pussy
God.
and you ran from a fucking warrant.
Loopy, your audio is horrible. Drop that crazy psychotic woman down now, please.
Lupe, you sound like a robot.
Thank you. Get her the hell out of here.
I did not drop her, by the way.
Yeah, she just fell out. I had arraignment for 2 felonies and a.
No, we're gonna tell the story
today.
like you dropped her and kicked her on behalf of me. We'll just
No,
tell that
because you do not
Muckster.
run this fucking panel. You don't tell
Okay.
me who to drop or who to let in.
You're right, Muckster. My apologies.
I know. I'm always right when I'm in my house.
Chris, please. What were you saying, Chris?
I had court this morning at 9 a.m. for 2. It was the arraignment hearing.
Great. Did you let another man speak for you?
What? Okay, no. Wait. How about let me
Did
finish
you
what I
let
was
an
saying?
attorney speak for you?
Let me finish
another
what I'm
man?
saying. I can't stand it when people cut you off in the middle of your sentence and then try to change the subject. I don't like when people do that. Please don't do that to me.
Okay.
I was saying that I had an arraignment this morning, and it was for indictment on 2 alleged felonies and an alleged misdemeanor, all in criminal circuit, correct? Meade County, so I believe it's a circuit court. Now, that is established in that hearing to ensure that we're in the right court, in the right place, in the right state, using the right judge for the right type of proceeding. And that
all those
they
things,
do
they're all
so
good.
much that they can do it within the first 3 seconds if someone isn't arguing out of term and off base, not understanding it. So I think what you might be running into, if they're just trying to do the 2-second process of making sure they got the right jurisdiction, and you're arguing already, and you're not even correct about understanding the jurisdiction rules, that's probably a problem. Like I could see everybody going, "Oh my God, we're never going to get through this."
Yeah, I mean, you're right that it could be a problem. You're right there, Chris. But the thing is, like, before it's a problem, though, like all I do is ask questions. I don't go in there and start claiming things. I don't go in there and start going, "Oh, hey, you don't have jurisdiction." They could have jurisdiction, Chris. I just want to see the factual evidence of it. It's a very simple request, and you said it yourself. We even agreed at the beginning that they're going to establish jurisdiction, right, at the arraignment. You did say that earlier, right?
Anytime at the very beginning of any court, that's the first thing they do, even on paper before you go to court.
So we're in agreement. So let's keep it where we're in agreement, right? That is, yes, you're correct. Now, a guy like me says, "Hey, let me see the factual evidence of it. Like, let me see it on paper," because the prosecutor must have filed this, right? The prosecutor must have put this in. The very first thing they should have done is put that proof of jurisdiction in there, the factual evidence, the 1 page it should be on, right? We can
only
agree
if
on
it's
that?
argued. If you
No. In order to bring the case, he needs to bring a charging instrument, correct? They call it prima facie evidence, we don't need to get into the legalese.
Technically, yes. I'm already with you. Yes. Technically, yes. Okay. Keep going.
Okay. So You understand that should be the first thing that the first document there should be the factual evidence jurisdiction, correct?
Well, it'll establish jurisdiction in the charging instrument. So the charging instrument should consist of like a probable cause.
Okay. So
hold on.
now,
Whoa. Let me answer.
okay.
So like, I'm going to use my case as an example, Meade County. Okay. They say in the probable cause, I am a sworn officer of Meade County Sheriff's Department for 8 years, and I recognized this thing that he'll write out, that he'll put the statute number, and he'll say, this is a state law violation in which occurred in Meade County, Kentucky. So that would be the establishment.
You think those codes apply to you, right? Like you think
No,
those
hold
codes
on.
apply
I'm
to
going
you?
to tell you what I'm going to say. I'm not going to get thrown off. I got too much to do. So that basis could be argued if it's incorrect. Now, if like I'm telling you how to argue jurisdiction properly. Now,
I'm not trying to argue with any of these folks, Chris. That's what your misunderstanding is. That I'm not trying to argue with them. I don't try to argue with them. I just say, where is it? So we just established, let's go back for a second because we were getting somewhere. I just got one point to make. I'll make it really quick, is that we already agreed that the first thing they should do is establish jurisdiction. And the second thing they should do is be able to provide it on paper, right? So
it already is.
Would you be, wait, I'm almost to my point. Don't cut me off now. Here's where it gets good, right? When I asked to see the factual evidence of jurisdiction, why didn't they have it, Chris? Why did they say they're going to need 30 days to produce it?
Because you need to request for, what's it called, Tiff, their motion for discovery.
No, you're missing the point. Why? We already agreed, remember, that should be the first thing that is done. Like the prosecutor should establish jurisdiction on paper, right? Like,
okay, so are you saying
wait. Let me interrupt here to get things clear in my mind. And I'm talking to Tiffany. Speaking as a TV lawyer, isn't that first hearing? It's basically the prosecution says on this date, in this place, this person did this.
Yes.
And the judge said, do you plead guilty or not guilty? And the guy says, I plead not guilty. And the judge says, all right, get the fuck out of here. And we'll hear all your arguments later. The judge does not listen to a bunch of arguments where you're asking for proof, or you're asking for proof of jurisdiction, you're asking for proof of the crime or anything. It's just, are you guilty or not guilty? And we will get to this other shit later.
Well,
if you have arguments about it.
That's what you think an arraignment is, Muckster?
A bond would be settled in that court too. So if there's a bond, it would be settled there too. But yes, Muckster, you're right. Now,
and wait, he said something else though too. What'd you say? BSBT?
I said that's your understanding of how an arraignment goes. It's real simple, right? Real simple, quick.
That was my understanding. That's why I wanted to know if Tiff agreed with that. Was the basic.
We were talking about preliminary.
The arraignment is not saying I want to see proof of the crime or anything else.
Well, why wouldn't you ask for proof of the crime?
Because that comes later. And if you would hire a fucking attorney, you would know this instead of acting all like Chris and anybody else is doing something wrong by getting a lawyer to talk for me because I'm a real man. I talk for myself. And that's why the judge charges me with contempt, you stupid fucking asshole.
Yeah, but they threw me in for contempt for 10 days, but they let me out the very next day. Explain that one, Muckster. Explain that one.
Because the judge has full discretion on how long to hold you.
Yeah.
The judge has full discretion of how long to hold you in contempt.
Do you want to know the lesson I learned from that? Do you want to know the lesson I learned from
not if you've learned a fucking thing in your life.
Oh, I learned a big lesson.
Request discovery during the discovery process.
Yeah.
I learned a huge lesson in that. I learned the lesson of a lifetime in that. It's that you can't trust what a judge says, even when they put it on paper, because they say that you're in jail for 10 days, but they'll let you out the next day. Now,
oh my God, you're mad that the judge let you out early?
I can't believe a word he says. Even when he puts it in writing, I can't believe what that line fuck says.
I thought it was a woman.
No, it's a.
Oh, you were talking about Chili's was a woman. Never mind.
Muckster.
Oh, well,
Muckster,
BTS. Listen, if that judge sees this panel, then he won't do it again. He'll make sure to keep his word.
Oh, listen, he can right here. He's got a Morabito right there. He's got a Morabito. Okay.
Well, you have to
that guy,
understand
he tried getting $650 out of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand how frustrating it is. I want to help you.
To be honest though, this is a learning experience, right? And I mean, I'm really not trying to be a prick when I'm up here. I know it may come off that way sometimes, but I'm really not. I just want to try to get to good understandings of what we're talking about.
Yeah, right.
And
I'm with you.
And MSG doesn't need to come up and say, you know, hey, yes, I said that if you're talking to a cop, that's interference. Then he quotes some statute, right? And then the statute, nowhere in there does it, you know, specify whether it's verbal or physical, right? Nowhere in that. I'd have to go back and re-listen, right? But
well, if you read all of the elements to that particular statute, I promise you there's going to be case law surrounding it that's going to establish what all of those terms are. That's what the argument in the court process is for. This is where you're getting lost, homie. You're getting lost in understanding you need to get some patience, and you need to understand that nothing in the legal system happens fast for you, the citizen. Okay.
Well, I have no patience for folks coming up here and then talking about the law when MSG admitted that he's never been to law school, so he doesn't know. He read the law, but does he comprehend what that law says? That's
I'm not going to sit here and bash on MSG.
I'm not bashing the guy. I'm not bashing him. I hope you know I'm not trying to bash on the guy. I'm just saying.
I'm not going to go backwards.
Shut up.
Either.
Shut the hell up. I'm the fucking voice of reason around here, and you've got me pissed off.
Holy shit. Who do we have up here now?
Killing time passing through.
Another person whose house you're in.
Okay.
You have done nothing but disrespect MSG. Nothing but disrespect that man since you've been on this. Don't interrupt me. Don't even try. You've done nothing but
telling the guy he was incorrect.
Man.
You just interrupted him.
God damn it. I'm gonna boot your ass in a minute.
I thought you.
He's just backstage. He can still hear.
I'm sorry. I've had it with that bullshit. We don't do this here. Yeah, all right. You want to flip me off? I will boot your ass. Fuck you. Goodbye.
Well, I would like to say this. I think that Broken System and MSG had a good opportunity on a very respectable panel to have a civil discussion and work their way through their understandings and their differences. And I think that they were failing miserably at doing that. And I think it was really difficult because, you know, very impatient. That was a very impatient experience. It was dealing with very low tolerance to patience. Broken System, if you can hear me, buddy, you need to work on your patience level. You know, you're never going to learn if you argue every single little detail and then run around in circles on the topic and everything like that. And you're definitely not going to get anywhere by throwing stones during the conversation. Now, after saying that, I hope.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I'm going to end this here. Because as I'm doing this editing, I have to watch the damn thing. And I am tired of hearing BSBT's bullshit. I will tell you at this point where I cut it, you saw where we kicked him backstage because Killen came in and tried to talk and he was interrupting him, even though I just told him Killen was one of the owners of the channel. And he sat backstage and he was flipping Killen the bird and doing shit. And Killen then just totally kicked him out. And he came back later. And I thought maybe he was going to come up and try to be reasonable. No, he came up and was an ass again. And by this time, my buddy Guacamole was there. And he was being a dick to her. And he was being a dick in chat. I think maybe he was showing off for people in his chat, which I don't understand. I looked and he's got like 100,000 subscribers. Why the hell do people listen to this moron? Anyway, What do I know? People listen to Trump. Anyway, so yeah, if you want to see the rest of this, the live is there. You can go fast forward to the point where I cut it now, and you'll see more. I know MSG came back later, and we were talking, and Chris was there longer, and like I said, Guac came in. But yeah, I just can't take any more of it. I just can't watch it again. But I will say this: Broken Whatever is banned from our StreamYard and from our chat. And unlike some people that I've kicked out before, like my buddy Bruno, this one will never be taken back. And I'll tell you, somebody else who is no longer welcome here, although he didn't get banned tonight, is Sir Richard Dicklip, whatever his name is. I don't need some fucking Brit coming in here and telling us how our laws are supposed to work, especially when he's going to be disrespectful. And I'll tell you something else that I mention later on in the part that you can see if you decide to watch the whole live, is you do not come into our channel and disrespect a guy whose avatar is the stripes of a master sergeant in the U.S. Army. And he's not just using that as an avatar. He earned that in over 30 years of service to this country. I don't care if you disagree with him, you will treat him with respect if you are in our house. And this isn't one of those Muckster rules, because I know the other three guys will agree with me on this. Show some respect for people. So BTSB and Richard the whatever, don't come back. We don't need you here. Thank you. Like I said, if anybody wants to see the full thing, it's out there. It's on my channel and it's on Sarge's channel.